On another quiet afternoon, Oluwatoyin sat in their living room, watching Oluwatoyin play with her son. The little boy giggled as his mother gently tickled him, her face lighting up with a rare smile. But behind the smile, Mama Toyin could see the shadows of pain and unanswered questions. She turned away, wiping a tear from her eye. As much as she wanted to shield her daughter from the harshness of the world, she knew she couldn't erase the burden of Oluwatoyin carried. All she could do was stand by her, offering strength and love. Later that evening, she placed her hands on Oluwatoyin's shoulders and said, "Toyin, remember this, you are stronger than you think, and no matter what anyone says, you are not alone. I am here always." Oluwatoyin nodded, drawing comfort from her mother's unwavering support. Weeks later, Oluwatoyin found herself alone in the small kitchen, preparing dinner while her son slept. The rhythmic sound of chopping vegetables didn't drown out the turmoil in her mind. Then she remembered Femi during her school days. One afternoon, as Oluwatoyin sat beneath a tree reading a Bible, Femi, the student union president, walked up to her. Known for his charisma and persuasive skills, Femi flashed his winning smile. "Toyin," he began, his voice smooth, "you are the kind of woman a man would be proud to have by his side. Let me take you out, just one lunch. I promise I am not like other guys." Toyin closed her Bible gently and looked at him. "Thank you, Femi, for the compliment, but I am focused on my studies and my relationship with God. I am not ready for anything else." Femi chuckled, masking his disappointment. "You are missing out, Toyin, but I respect your decision." Her roommate Ronke witnessed the encounter from afar. That evening, as they prepared for bed, she scoffed, "Toyin, you are too rigid. Femi is a catch. Do you know how many girls would kill to have him notice them?" Toyin smiled. "Ronke, I am not interested in popularity or dating for fun. My values guide me, and I want to honor them." Ronke rolled her eyes, but deep down, envy simmered. Wale, the notorious campus playboy, was the next to try his luck. Unlike the others, his approach was bold and disrespectful. One afternoon, he intercepted Toyin on her way to class. "Toyin, when are you going to stop pretending to be holier than thou and let your real man take care of you?" Toyin's steps faltered, but she composed herself. "Excuse me, Wale," she said firmly. "I don't appreciate your tone or your assumptions. Please respect yourself and leave me alone." Wale laughed mockingly. "You think you're better than everyone else, don't you? You come running back when you realize how lonely your path is." Ronke, who had a secret crush on Wale, was furious. That evening, she confronted Toyin. "Why do you have to be so rude to people, Toyin? Wale was just being friendly." "Friendly?" Toyin replied her. Her voice calm but firm. "Ronke, it was disrespectful. I won't lower my standards for anyone." Ronke slammed her book shut. "You think you are perfect, don't you? Always acting like you are better than everyone else. No wonder people don't like you." The tension between them deepened, though Toyin chose to remain silent, praying for Ronke's heart to soften. Thinking about this, Toyin couldn't get a tangible clue to the cause of her pregnancy and decided to leave everything to God. Despite the hardships, Oluwatoyin persevered. Her intelligence and determination earned her a job at a reputable company, and she eventually married a kind, understanding man who accepted her and her child. Years later, while driving through a busy street, she spotted a disheveled figure among a group of beggars. It was Ronke. Her once vibrant face was now hollowed and tired, her laughter replaced by pleading eyes. Moved by a mix of pity and curiosity, Oluwatoyin invited Ronke into her home. Ronke, overwhelmed by her kindness, burst into tears. "You don't know what I have done to you," she whispered. Toyin didn't understand what she meant and disregarded her comment, focusing on helping her. That night, Ronke narrated what happened to Toyin back in their school days. 3 weeks before the final examinations, Ronke made a fateful decision. Wale, a notorious campus playboy who had unsuccessfully pursued Oluwatoyin for years, approached her with a proposition. "Help me get close to your holy friend," he said, offering her a hefty sum of money. "I've waited too long to win this game." At first, Ronke hesitated, but the lure of wealth silenced the faint voice of her conscience. One afternoon, as Oluwatoyin returned from the library, exhausted from hours of study, Ronke added her a glass of fruit juice laced with important sedative. Moments later, Oluwatoyin lay unconscious on her bed. Wale entered the room, his face alight with trauma, as Ronke turned away, unable to watch the scene unfold. The room fell silent once more, and Ronke meticulously cleaned every trace of their betrayal. When Oluwatoyin woke up hours later, she felt an unusual ache in her body. "Maybe my period is coming," she murmured to herself, unaware of the evil that had been done to her. Then everything is now clear to Toyin as she sharply remembered how she felt one afternoon during her school days. Oluwatoyin sat frozen, tears streaming down her face as the weight of the revolution sank in. The news got to Pastor Adebayo, and he insisted that the following Sunday confess before the entire congregation in order to claim his daughter's name from the mess she put on her. Trembling, Ronke stood before the altar, recounting her betrayal. The congregation was shocked into silence, and Pastor Adebayo, with tears in his eyes, embraced his daughter and wife, praying for their forgiveness.